Hello, my name is Jack Shahadi. I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, and moved to Wisconsin when I was 9 years old. I've traveled a lot in my short lifetime, and for many different reasons each time. And up until 2017, I really didn't know what travel meant, or even the impact that we have on nature and nature's impact on us. For me, travel meant getting from one place to another. Where you end up and why you're there was the only thing that mattered to me. However, all that changed when I spent 2 weeks hiking in Alaska with some friends. This experience is something that I'll never forget and taught me very important life lessons that I'll carry on forever. It first began when a group of my friends and I convinced our school to start a backpacking trip over the summer. We'd all really wanted to do something, but we just didn't know what. And with the help of chaperones and the school, we were able to plan this expedition into the Alaskan wilderness. After all those grueling months of planning, we were finally there. We were finally in Alaska. Geared up and ready to start climbing, we began on our trail that would lead us for 2 weeks through the mountains and then loop back and take us to where we started. I was so excited. However, within the first day that we began hiking, I got so tired and I wondered, why was I even on this trip? But then something came over me, sitting there exhausted with my group. The silence that surrounded us overwhelmed me, and I began to realize what everything was all about. In that moment, sitting there, I began to understand what nature meant and how I never knew what travel meant. Surrounded by nothing for miles, no sound of people, cars, just pure, unadulterated nature, blooming with life. With each day that followed, I really began to appreciate what was around me. And not just the plants and animals, but the people too. My friends, going on this hike with me, just all exhausted at the end of the day, all realizing that we're very, very proud that we've come this far. The harder each day was, the more fun we'd have, and what became into exhausted times sitting on the ground turned into dancing fiestas, where we just enjoyed what was around us, hungry, tired, but just so happy that we're together, surrounded by this beautiful nature. I realized that nature's not just about plants and animals and conserving the environment. It's about what you make of it. And for me, that was who I was with and what I was doing. It did not matter about where I started or where I was going. It just mattered that I had fun along the way. And even laying down, terrified on top of a mountain, I still appreciated everything that surrounded me. From the wind to the snow, I loved it all. Just because I finally realized that it is really the journey, not the destination, that matters. All 11 of us stood on top of that mountain together, holding a sign that said, "We made it." And we all were so proud of each other, proud of ourselves, that we made it this far and we grew as people, not alone, but together. What started off as a fun way to be with my friends turned into something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Something that taught me how to appreciate where I was at any given moment and what surrounded me, may it be the trees, may it be the birds, or even the people. After Alaska, I was able to go back home to Lebanon and I began to truly appreciate it for what it was, a lost place full of broken people. And sitting there on the coast, looking over at the water, I felt at home for the first time in a long time. And it didn't just stop there. I looked back to when I went to Japan for a few months to live with my family there. Now, they weren't my real family, they were my host family. But being there with them, they helped me through so much. And I learned so much about myself and about the world. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't learned how to appreciate what was around me. Taking what I learned, I began to appreciate things that I thought I appreciated before in a completely new light. My friends, for instance. Every day I'm with them and I see them. I'm happy. And I know that, but now I can appreciate it because they love me back. Just like my family loves me. My two sisters, they appreciate me, and I haven't been able to appreciate them in that same way. And now, every time I look back at those memories, I will always be able to understand that nature and life and travel is what you make of it, and not what is just around you.